I would say Emma will be Aquaba and Fambra Pinaxtv so and Sembebre and Eja to say Ewagana Hanum say Nemun Semno ena Yeba Bedomusuko Edia Masha Funina and then Semni be a Bekamwa Semno Efa a year Yaman Penny John Dramani Mahama Nen Samawa de Ababetuja say a year styrofoam a metre pack takeaway packs I use ewo krom hanum say no enche yebe bane edi efri Ghana hanum say afenzu yebe hye ensem foforo edi afa yen foreign affairs minister Yera Samuel Okujeto ablakwa ono nso ensem bi awa be kasa edi afa refugees metre Ghanaian refugees womo ekopie mu ewo Burkina Faso ene Cote d'Ivoire womo dodo a womo etimi edi womo abefi afa yinso yebehwe ensem foforo free aman ahodo say US and other countries yenko straight to ensem yemampani John Dramani Mahama wode atuja ewujumedia course so ye environmental day fa ya sitnemu ene afen so from mamu nsem ne ade ni nyina eka ho bi na no ena yemampani John Dramani Mahama wode atuja say assistance now no ye hwe Ghana pollution sa koso ezanse de bia ka sanitation wasem ekrom ha na ade ba ko a ye betimi ye free honom na ama oman no sebe ya start say ye keep your mind neat no styrofoam a metre say ye take away packs ahodo a eni okoto wa cha ni etiegum emo ni etiegum indomie spaghetti sa na ema ni nyina ene gobe kra yedugu ye take away pack mu ensema ye mampani ede abeto dwane na ede nkomo bebre aba abeto dwa a sebe Ghana hampani fo binu kransha na omoho akwa akoka eye ban ya mampani ka ho asem ye bejibre na yakwa akotie said the mampani John Dramani Mahama ede nsem no etudwa but answer na no mamenko eye menua be ma Chris crazy mo kwa Bamra Studios ha
yeah majors
enti yete say the president John Dramani Mahama wodi atudwa styrofoam no ayesu ewukrom hanum sei no obebane no. Firstly, no, kindly brief us on the reasons nsem bia or my yenti a work as a styrofoam no or banning wukroma.
Yes. So World Environment Day.
Okay.
2025. You celebrate and you bo jakakra. Your President John Dramani Mahama ekokasa ewase na ne kasemu no and oche say now say Ghana hane here you produce 840,000 tons of plastic. Oh, Afibia.
Okay.
840,000 tons of plastics. Ghana has say. And to be very safe. Ghana ha and men can say yes. I mean, environment no. Not who be here say yes. I take away packs no. Because no, it's a corset. Men can say harm to the environment because these plastics no. It takes about 500 years before a baby decomposing.
Okay. So bodiem Emma mena yenti mampani ankasa said they were train semnimu FI by betuaso.
One of the other things we intend to do is to ban styrofoam as a food packaging material. One of the most pernicious polluters is styrofoam plastic. When you go to buy your food and they put it in that white plastic something, and then you finish eating, you just dump it. That is one of the biggest polluters. And so we're going to ban the importation of styrofoam plastics. We have to use paper packaging or aluminum foil for packaging our food. And so I'm informing the manufacturers and importers of styrofoam with the Ministry of Environment. Soon we're going to ban the importation of styrofoam.
For natural say no any sema air coso at this point. Na mampini trema styrofoam no na sabre de yen yusu ewo man bim nanso no said the midi kan a whole lot of issues are popping up about this styrofoam. Honorable Kennedy ohine Japan and so edi abe for mu Chris my right now about the reasoning tia ken and so di abe piece ansem we mu.
Yes, Kennedy Japan flag bearer hopeful for the NPP party. And che bia na one of the campaign tour no ode betu just say wakọ akwa 3.25 million cities of a company bia.
Okay.
An Indian company bia na papa no ye adwuma wo ho no. Also within 90 years into your retirement into your top company no, and it's a rubber plastic company.
Okay.
Also a Ghana for the do no home ye adwuma na except for so be acquire so that he can keep these Ghanaians working. And what ya ni asaba beti say President John Dramani Mahama so aba bontia. These plastics no or the abetu just say ban it because it causes more harm to the environment.
Okay.
And this is what people are talking about say. Is it because you can't say you ban plastics? I check.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, Canadian Japan so acquire 3.25 million cities of a year plastic company. Na Mahama so about bontin say.
So more like an attack on Ken's companies.
This is how people see it. Say this way there. It's like say our company no, and our president is also about say plastics, the use of plastics. Ghana. Now people see it say is a direct attack to Canadian Japan, a company or Babeshasian.
Okay. Yen twa ensem no so ema dia yebeko na yakwa kwhwe video of President John Dramani Mahama ninsema wode eto monten so yeba there is a lot more about this whole issues yede ebemamu.
And production of styrofoam in Ghana. Our food packaging will be made from paper and also from aluminium material. Fellow Ghanaians, the journey from landfill, fellow Ghanaians, it sounds very familiar, yeah? One of the other things we intend to do is to ban styrofoam as a food packaging material. One of the most pernicious polluters is styrofoam plastic. When you go to buy your food and they put it in that white plastic something, and then you finish eating, you just dump it. That is one of the biggest polluters. And so we're going to ban the importation of styrofoam plastics. We have to use paper packaging or aluminium foil for packaging our food. And so I'm informing the manufacturers and importers of styrofoam with the Ministry of Environment. Soon we're going to ban the importation of styrofoam and production of styrofoam in Ghana. Our food packaging will be made from paper and also from aluminium material. Fellow Ghanaians, the journey from landfill, fellow Ghanaians, it sounds very familiar, yeah?
Abusiafo, that was the president of the land, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And he said that na all kasana say the ban of styrofoam no, it's on importation because they were man for okrom ha omo business and also omo adwuma omo ye ne se omo ebekra sa styrofoam no take away packs ni ade no e de aba krom ha e na ye won panimfo bi nso omo nso no omo manufacture no e wo krom ha ya omo de omo nkra enti ensem ebeto odwa no man for started say omo drag honorable Kennedy Japan edi ebemu no ye ti ensem ni wie no what we could ask is that how does this revolve around Kennedy Japan in the first place?
Yes, so in the first place, how this revolves around the Kennedy Japan is all about the fact that Honorable Kennedy Japan, he's acquiring a 3.25 million a year cities a year company. Okay. They are into plastics. And President John Dramani Mahama manufacturing is also home. Okay. And to those who are manufacturing, those who are importing, it is going to affect them. Kennedy Japan and also he has also started this plastic company. Yes, the kind of company
okay, so Ebusianfo said the name Yabema Ken is into manufacturing of plastics. Any idea styrofoam means to account. May I sure most of us have not seen how Kennedy Japan factory and as a company no etie. Into video we Emra.
In the life of a Wharton MBA who's trying to get a better understanding of her family businesses. Let's go. Today we are in the plastics factory. Platinum Plastics. This machine mixes up the different petroleum byproducts in different quantities based on what products need to be made before it's sent onto the actual factory floor. So what you're seeing here is the bags that rice is packaged in being woven, which I thought was very cool. And for the most part, nothing goes to waste. So this here is like recycled scraps from the factory floor that's going to be turned into something else. This is how styrofoam packs are made. This machine like imprints the mold into it. This is what a bunch of packs look like stacked on top of each other. And ours actually have the slit for you to properly close it. Now my favorite section, bottling. These are how the bottle caps are made. This is the preform of the actual bottle that's placed into this machine. Then it gets blown. And voila, you've got a bottle. You've got a bottle. That was my day at the factory. Bye.
I was so video I share no Honorable Kennedy Ohene Japan ne baba and wabwera ne papa ne plastic company or manufacture styrofoam bottles, plastic bottles, any idea. And I will take us through say she said there wo mo jumano ne papa company ni mo said nneema bia yehu no abonten bottles ni ade ye nim kwa faso no che ne papa bi na wa share video now you could tell the number of styrofoams that mutimi produce out to say factory ni mu nyina ayema. Like everywhere is filled up with styrofoam, packs, any bottles, any idea. And the daughter is taking us through all this regular thing now. Factory. But now, President Mahama talking about the fact say they are banning this plastic styrofoam, any idea no. What is the fate of Honorable Kennedy Japan now?
Yes, so with this, President's name somebody to the World Environment Day. I just said all the efforts of Honorable Kennedy Japan will come to a halt. Okay. Because we could see in the factories there were a lot of ready-made. Most of them were readily available to come to the market. Say about beton. Now, President, and so they have to just say these foams and as these plastics are, causing havoc to the environment. They are banning its importation and then its manufacturing. Okay. So this is a big blow to the plastic company now or Babesha Asiano.
So does it mean say Honorable Kennedy Japan once the law is passed and I said the bill is passed into a law says say no production of styrofoam, no production of plastics. Now say the company no iguanisa.
Yes, it will cease your production. Your importations and everything. And people out there felt said this is a real attack to Honorable Kennedy Japan. Okay. Because going into 2024, because if your company is well to do, it is going to generate a lot of funds, resources for you. To come in stronger as a candidate, okay. As a president hopeful. And you see, politics, how people do it is in such a way, say. As ye ko ye nim no na ye bubu ye yonko ye bubu ye ho aprega kakaka. Do you understand? And yes, people are of the view say these plastics they cause a lot of havoc to the environment. It is true because plastics it takes about 500 years and sana decompose. Oh wow. And for who they say can it quite so no. But other people are also of the view because Kennedy Japan Barbontin and Chayebia the campaign they go into January 31st yana. A cofa when you buy say when who company be say nipa say bio and all that and you are acquire our company now you acquire our company and yes it will bring the production and I said the operations to a halt, which is really going to affect Honorable Kennedy Japan.
So do you side with a majority of the people Moka say the NDC attack most of the NPP top gurus because someone like Chema to me. He happens to be one of the biggest and I say financiers of a year Baumia any idea. And as I say, you who say Yoko cases be near the Abana or more a crampo no near there. And right now we've seen other people, so we're facing those kind of things in the NPP party. Right now, no, Ababe Drew Honorable Kennedy Japan. So a lot of people are calling, say the attack on the NPP business gurus must come to a halt. Do you side with them?
You see, it is happening everywhere.
Okay.
It is happening everywhere. Even sometimes a relative internationally, you see countries fighting countries, but and yet, I mean, real war sent to but you see policies, they will tend to use some kind of policies. Policy be or but you who say your opponent be a quack or cofa hodoma or the person of Fahodi and as or the end who year go against yen. Then and let's go and bring those policies back and start using them because we know it is going to affect this our opponent. And yes, people are of the view saying can yet say President John Dramani Mahama about elaborate on the fact that we are going to ban the use of plastics. But other people said that kind almost who they said a community no. You see, last week Mohoni Ebeka said they've targeted a Dubois.
Okay.
With the fact say your mom who said Papa no on certain issues are obetimi use against the NDC.
Okay.
Do you understand? And some of the NPP communicators also so Babontin Betre say intentionally they are targeting some of these people because they know so betimi party in issue. You see, the party is currently in a state they are trying to revive it.
Okay.
Enti obia obetimi aboa ama party na gina any adibia no unless a winning issue.
Okay.
If there's an issue with you, they'll definitely come against you.
Okay.
And where there with a year Canadian Japan, it is quite unfortunate. Say Abanesa because World Environment Day 2025 I am celebrating. No quite so say presidents baby no no say be ban plastics. Now most especially the ones that we use for packaging foods. Now you're here Canadian Japan the factory houses. We could see a lot of them are ready for the market. And yes, people are of this view said it is one heavy attack to a honorable Canadian Japan. Or the pen a flag bearership race no one heavy because apart from flag bearership race no he also has this kind of support or the NPP coming back together into the year 2028 elections. And I mean in Koso, I mean people are talking about it. And how this whole thing unfolds because the president made it clear say very soon. It means yes, it is going to affect a honorable Canadian Japan any new company.
I was here for now. Share say possibly no. This bill could be passed into a law. Now a drew on swa a mu ensem no ye debeba be summo. Yen sorry so na yen kopie mu ewo the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Wo mo akachia ho na yera Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa who doubles as the NP for a year North Ton the Ensembia Betuja about a year kind of say conflict a course so wo year Burkina Niko d'Ivoire ma Ghana for bi no ho call a Jani ade no and now the more man boy into details about refugees ne ade what is going on yenu abema a year Chris ewaha Chris tell us about this conflict in the first place. What is it about? Yes,
this conflict, it's makes me say it's more about a year assassin concept.
Okay.
Will be before fraud and I mean a whole lot of misunderstandings and and what happened was because of a conflict in India, a lot of people had to flee from that particular region, not to the neighboring countries, maybe called Burkina. Some also went to Cote d'Ivoire.
What assassin? Which region in particular was it on?
Jibri.
Okay.
You see, the spelling itself is Gbennyir.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's some kind of a Gonja land.
Okay.
So that parts of the region, no, and Omanya a land conflict.
Ghana for being
yes, most Ghanaians had to flee their homes to seek asylum in other neighboring countries, the northern part of Ghana.
Okay, and then what is the minister telling us about this whole thing? Oma solve issue, what is happening? What happened to the Ghanaians?
Okay, so an estimate of 13,253 Ghanaians are almost a free Ghana, and as Foreign Affairs Minister Kujeto Ablakwa between him about 8,000 of them. They've returned back to Ghana safely from Côte d'Ivoire. Omo try say omo kobo mu ho adwa. Now yes, Odebetu yenim so say oni Foreign Affairs Minister omo so ewo Côte d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso.
Okay.
He had to take a break and then talk to them, extend Ghanaians. Yeah, said that he said in particular, say President John Dramani Mahama Edomase for the fact that when Ghanaians came in, they received them also kama. But see any there, the update or the brain and say 13,000 plus people are moved to but on as move free the northern parts most of them, about 8,000 of them, Omar Retania Befia, it's me I can say about 5,000 plus still now so
I was here for young Kotie said the minister in some way etuja.
My 3-day working visit, I held discussions with my Ivorian counterpart, His Excellency Kaku Huaja Leon Adom, about the displaced Ghanaians in Côte d'Ivoire. After the talks, I led a team to the Bukani region, where some 13,253 displaced compatriots originally sought refuge. My visit was aimed at conveying a special message from President John Dramani Mahama to conduct further assessment of the situation for additional consular assistance, to express Ghana's gratitude to our Ivorian counterparts, and to offer immediate assistance. During my visit, I discovered that about 8,000 Ghanaians have safely returned home. The latest census conducted revealed that the remaining number of Ghanaians in Côte d'Ivoire is 5,309. 5,309. No more 13,253. I delivered a special message from President Mahama, which was a message of peace and forgiveness, and a message appealing to all our compatriots to return home since government has beefed up security and ensured that normalcy is restored. On behalf of President Mahama, I donated 6 million CFA to cover urgent humanitarian needs and to facilitate logistical requirements for their safe return home. This donation is distinct from other relief items, including food, water, blankets, and medicines already provided through NADMO. During my 3-day working visit, I held discussions with my Ivorian counterpart, His Excellency Kaku Huaja Leon Adom, about the displaced Ghanaians.
And you could see and Sema Wadituja about the update on Yenua Noma or more Ekopie will be man so as refugees. Efa a year and Tokwania dear ba asase home. And to share screens ne soa ube hu ensembia foreign minister or they eto mountain. So say I took time of my official engagement in Ethiopia to hold fruitful telephone conversations with the foreign ministers of Burkina Faso and Côte d'Ivoire on the exceptional hospitality of warmly hosting a considerable number of Ghanaians who fled recent communal conflict. Into a trema, naka kreni so kopie mu ewo Ethiopia. Na emu no enwenya breka kra ene eye foreign ministers a wo ewo Burkina Faso ene eye Côte d'Ivoire man no ene wo kasa ya. Wodi aseda PSA ekoma wo se to bre mu odin a Ghana fo bi no bebo adwa ewo mo man mu no wo mo eje wo mo fel so ene wo mo etnaye. Was I am deeply grateful to Burkina Faso's Honorable Karumako Jean-Marie Traoré, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation, and Burkinabe Abroad and Côte d'Ivoire's Honorable Kaku Huaja Leo Adom, Minister of Foreign Affairs, African Integration and Diaspora for the extremely fruitful engagement. Into no trema. Ministers ahodua womo eda Cote d'Ivoire. Any Burkina Faso no. Wada womo asepa biem. Esansi esi nipa dia wasaye. The omo ye no asone nipa as a foreign minister to Ghana. So omo no omo etimi abua ne mamufuo. Now say I conveyed the heartfelt appreciation of President John Mahama, the government and people of Ghana for their demonstration of true Pan-African solidarity and admirable belief in our ECOWAS free movement protocols. International Trema was signed Ejina Mampeni, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Nemu Eda Mpeni Foi Ase, Se Anyankofa Eda Omai Miensen Entemno. Womo etimi ahwesa yankofa no na ebre mu odin no womo ebe mu emayo. See, a telephone conversation produced the following actionable road map. Na che say womo kasa ye edu akire ye pa na nsem bebre ewomu enti wo hwe de edikan o say no effort will be spared in ensuring that our Ghanaian compatriots are well looked after and assisted to return home. Into a chema, umebo muhumodin bia. Said the beya, yenu anom Ghana for womuko pie ubi mansono. Yebeti mi asho womusu ye na yakra womo edi omabedru fie asumjemo. Afede tosumie no si as agreed, the foreign ministries of Burkina Faso and La Côte d'Ivoire would hold urgent meetings with staff of Ghana embassy officials in the respective countries today and tomorrow to explore fresh mechanisms of ensuring the welfare and safety of the affected Ghanaians. Into a trema, Okopiem Côte d'Ivoire memoir, Ghana embassy woho, and Okopiem ewo Burkina Faso memoir, Ghana embassy woho penifo woho no, and sa amai mi enuwe mu penifo beshia na omo apekwanya. Womo ebetimi abo Ghana fo ewo honom ne ho ban na womo etimi ahwe womo asetena mu nso eyie afei de tosomi so the Foreign Affairs Ministry gladly agreed to facilitate my impending working visit to Burkina Faso and Côte d'Ivoire, which is amid at interacting directly with our dear nationals and offering needed assistance. Into a trema eye amai mienu we no womo agye atomu se womo ebeye nhyehyeye se de beya yen foreign minister betimi akopie mu osanman mienu eso eni Ghana fo ewo honom no edi nsanwoso animu ni animu empunimpu se de be on be experience ni yie no etimi akasa edi akere wo mo. Also the foreign minister generously offered to accompany my delegation to visit our compatriots immediately. I conclude ongoing high-level commitment in Ethiopia, which is led by our Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman. Internet wo trema hyehyɛ de egusua egu akwemu a enche bia no womo edi bibia be hyehyɛ so amanetimi de nsrahwɛ no ahyehyɛ so. So the Mahama administration will continue to care for all Ghanaians and will not leave anyone behind. May we work to secure lasting peace in our flashpoints of our beloved nation, and may we, in the spirit of Pan-Africanism and African integration, continue to open our borders to fellow Africans as Ghana has always championed, even as we pursue the dream of a borderless Africa. Long live African solidarity. International Trema. Mahama abindie womayo madwene say omode eye akomapa ebehwe Ghana fo nyina na sebe emyaye bia ye hunu se flashpoint ye ka flashpoint se ho no eto asumdwe nhede ni ho nsemone ne menteme ho ase ne ade ekoso ewo ho no omatimi esiesi amasumdwe aba ehonom no ena afi nso no eba ne se ebibiman yenka ye ho mbom ne enya baako ne ema odo enne biako ye emra ye ntema Mahama aban aye krado se wobetimi ede ne ho agimu ama Africa na ye pese ye hunu Kwame Nkrumah Africa na nani eda so no ye betimi enya ne sa pepepe enunti ensemo aye Foreign Affairs Minister Yewa Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa ede ebetu dwa no eno ena yede emu ensem ni mu nchire mu yede abremu no Chris. So this is what is happening me amitimi say no foreign affairs when you break in this particular conflict course. So as it stands now, not to say omo kan no say omo refugees no omo abefi no, are they really home now?
Oh yes, so for 8,000 of them, 13,000 plus now, they are home safely. They've gone back to their respective homes. Omo free Cote d'Ivoire about back to omo group. Now, what's the foreign affairs minister no? I mean, what's the current Mahama administration no? I mean, it's a good thing I better applaud you because country view the focus would have been resolving the conflict. Not about Oma free I understand that they are setting a mediation team now resolve the conflict no I mean resurgence be a free honor so it's a good thing they are liaising with a foreign affairs ministry of those countries and then other stakeholders waiting especially maka house and welfare and so as another thing abino omo dinsa so said the beya omo nyina ho ebetimi ato omo enwe ho.
Okay. Yes, sorry so na ebusia yempins and fufro mu a Ghana ha de unya ate the word excavator ade ba ko ebesan ba wadwi mu galamsey. Oti excavator pe na che say oti galamsey. Na so nka excavator there it has its own purpose for construction any ade gutters ne ye drainage system ni ade ye kwan any ade but oti excavator o Ghana ha de the first day beba wadwi mu galamsey ena me ne wo say organization a wo mo edi observers of economic complexity wo mo de aba betudwa say wo mo de omani ato form sa observe ya analysis ya research ehu say Ghana say ye koye nimpa say ba no importation of excavators ye koye nim no eno kodru say Chris boyemu osansem we
yes I mean the number of excavators are eba on my musisi I mean adoso
okay
adoso and it is very alarming.
Wow. Because
you see, each day we are looking about 200 excavators. Yes, that is from our transport minister.
Okay.
And our chair said about 200 excavators. And it me ebedru on my own. I say in Ghana here, we spent $204 million on excavators in 2023 only. And who say, I mean, the current transport minister is talking about the fact that the number of excavators are back Ghana in a single day, is very alarming. Even Nigeria, or more economy, say one and Ghana crown. They spend just 94 million.
Wow.
That is almost half of a year what Ghana spent on a year excavators. And so, yes, the foreign affairs minister, this organization, they came out and then they did their research and say yes, Ghana, we've become the highest importer over West Africa. You import excavators, baby. And now here African we are the second in Africa. Now wait, and I'm for baby. Ede abetuja say galamsey ya kasi ya queen. Africa ni ya ho ya kra ho akade ede aba oman mu se de be ya mean galamsey ya person ki stop no asanso akoso ebe pija ni mu bebre with the aid of these excavators kra ede ba oman mu.
Okay, so with this details yenya say we share screens is also Ghana is the highest importer of excavators in West Africa, second in Africa. And say no omama yati say Ghana ye koye ni ma ye yade amount for bomb homodin other things ne ye de etimi boy homodin wo mu and say e be excavators which you and I know say from all indication say enye contractors say wo krom a ene aircraft excavators.
Yes, I mean, and America said it has raised a lot of eyebrows.
Okay.
Say, all of a sudden, because Transport Minister Joseph Nipe Bukari.
Okay.
I mean, he voiced his concern. Say over 200 excavators each and every single day. This is the number of excavators. It comes through our ports. And yes, people are of the view say how the current government almost galamsey when they were in opposition, no? Now all of a sudden, Maba in power. Now your own transport minister is talking about the fact that over 200 excavators every single day it comes through our ports are a bagana has said. Then what is really happening? Is it that the galamsey no namosa shemokina and I say a real contractors and a aircraft excavators edeba? And I mean, makes me say because the minister was like, it will cause some kind of a havoc to the environment because 200 excavators in a single day there. And it is me say a book wrestle with how I mean some of these vehicles are supposed to be imported into the country. And yes, people are of the view say galamsey try say see no kwan kra and no and still now we have some of these aircraft and they are relating it back to because galamsey no people talk about the fact say we were being one or no or free swap. Then the next part they also take over and then they go into some of these acts try say because and yes what is really taking the government to put because you are in power, you have a lot of things at your disposal. Then you regulate some of these activities.
Okay.
Because it is very alarming. Galamsey you took be dying since in view. Now say how far when they were doing it, you could see say pole no light electricity pole. But you took galamsey enough for a track circle and a pole is seen baby. I mean, they don't respect anything. They don't respect anything. People are selling their homes because who say go. So people are still of the views there. Abemu penifona no mo say guswa galamsey mintina some of these excavators and I say all these excavators is one way or the other has a relation to some of these top government officials.
Okay. Now, with this updates and as information, observers of economic complexity for the better months. Did they state the period in which our more ESR research was from 2018 to 2016 and now 2016 to 2016 and who say this number of excavators ever chrome had daily and I think per the research from this date to this date in a Ghana air topic.
Okay, into Usha figure na your boy or Hana.
Okay.
205 million dollars a buyer no. It was somewhere between 2003 and 2004. 2023-2024. And the concerns are trade minister and also raising. It was just June 2025.
Okay.
June 2025. And that amount of $204 million OEC for was within the period of 2023. Until from that time, some of these things, large number of importation of excavators, not a cost from 2023, 2024, and Abase, June 2025, it me said 200 plus excavators every single day.
You fit 2024, bedroom 2025.
That is what the trade minister is saying, which is very, 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 very alarming.
So does that confirm the rumor man for say the more reason why recently na Mampeni, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, any media for Asia, a media encounter, a question was raised on an emergency, and I say a state of emergency should be called when it comes to this whole galamsey thing. Or say Andrew Hoyer and mechanisms near the idea of honor. Does it confirm to because I'm a man for because that means the NDCs are also into this same galamsey? Does it confirm that it's true? Say NDC for Abeshe galamsey mukena.
You see, for him to declare state of emergency, no, yes, said you all can say a lot of things goes into it. No, one on that side, it is true. Say yes, a lot of things goes into it. A money yeding, a money kakra. But on the other hand, this is a state, emergency. You bet me, this is a state emergency. A whole lot of people are calling it out there. It is something I was anymore because it has its own effects in the short run and then in the long run. And sometimes you have the feels that is it that it is benefiting the current government? You took gold seeker the year party year and assessing what is really going on, because a whole lot of people say, how you gonna afford 10 age na hwa emu be 9 ebeka se galam say ye kwan bi a person aban person faso edisi anu bia on faso, of which a declaring state of emergency on galam say no and so eka home. So why then is this not happening? Because there are a lot of people in that sector. See, as a bus is here, whether you have license or you don't have license, everything will come to a standstill. And you see, you say you call back because the harm now are causing. For us to fix them back will take us years. It will take years to fix some of these havocs illegal mining are causing. And when he takes that stand, and yet 2 weeks, and yet 1 year, and 3 years, it will take a very long time until a lot of measures has to be put in place. And Sana Wetimi go ahead and declare a yes and a state of emergency. But yes, people are also talking. This is very harmful, both to the environment. Nipa kasankwa ena ebimudi diagro. They said that they are mekano. Ghana ni ojuna nenya primsi kape no ojai, because that is what he's looking out for. Onjuno biya hu biya say o nipa Galamsey Amitri about affected this particular region, about affected this particular group of people. People don't think like that. No. But there are so many measures that the president himself can put in place. I bet me Amaya Kebe when it said import not declaring state of emergency. Now there are other ways. The president should come out and give us some of these ways or better try to Kebe. If it is trans, I say, because measures be also to in place. Yes, some of us we understand it. Say, oh yes, measures be also to a bit too one sana. We'll go ahead and declare state of emergency. But there are some other short ways. I bet me Afaso Edia Kebe this galam say. And to say, the question is, be say, we expect him to come out and tell us. Says these are the. And she said, yeah, you go akema. You better try. You better start here following kakra. Because this is what makes people talk about the fact that any omanimu and penifona the guso omoye galam say nti amana yedin ama president.
Well, Abushiafo, that is about a year observers of economic complexity for Nsema Omude Abetuja. Now moving on to other issues, as you can see on the screens, ye chirema na chese nanu ada enebetuja say ye mampeni chirema. I say illegal immigrants are umukopie mu US. I do more air call mo my move back no. Unim say they be going through process near their dear. And a beto just say your man penny say what's here ama Donald Trump say on fa omumu dudu kakra day. Emegu ama yimu. Na eno ene ye tete say ensem bi aba ho. Ama nhwe ya na tese Ghana aban so ehu akwa akodimu. Chris
yes, migrants are deported on my free crew so no and Kenya Boneso because so what you chromness or people and shed and ye papa. If you show me now say back to a home country. Now said 10 from last week Ghana you received 14 of these migrants are free US. 14 of these deportees are free US, Ghana, AGYAPONG'S and they made arrangements for some of these people to travel back to their countries. Some also are still here. They had 90 days. Now, this is what we have on our screens. Lawsuit says US held West African migrants in straight jackets for 16 hours on flight to Ghana. And straight jackets, some of these jackets here, they show it restricts you of movement. So you don't have any, I mean, you are restricted to a certain position.
That's why it's stiff.
Why you're stiff. So you don't get access, so you play any funny movements, just to, avoid whatever that is being taking place. And they also cited the fact that hours into the flight, they didn't even know what was happening. Yes, they didn't know what was happening until some hours into the flights. It was, they were being deported. And let's read what is on our screens.
Okay.
So some West Africans who were deported from the US to Ghana were held in straitjackets for 16 hours on a flight, during which all passengers were shackled and given only bread and water, according to a lawsuit that is filed on Friday. So yes, lawsuit now it is talking about the fact that they were just held in straitjackets for 16 good hours. And Sana, and they just gave them bread and water for that 16 hours. Even prior to that, just the bread and water is not a good thing for a deportees and free United States ever.
Okay.
The lawsuit filed in federal court in Washington on behalf of 5 migrants says passengers were awoken in the middle of the night on September 5th and not told where they were going until hours into the flight on a U.S. military cargo plane. It also goes ahead and states that on September 5th, somewhere in the night, they just woke them up. They don't know. And they were put on a military cargo plane hours into the flight. And Sana, they were, told to say, this is what is really happening. And 5 of them, and this are lawsuits number. It has been filed, and this is what it entails. The migrants have been detained for 5 days in Ghana in squalid conditions and surrounded by armed military guards in an open-air detention facility called Dema Camp. The complaint says conditions are abysmal and deplorable, with tents for shelter and a little running water. And how are you feeling? They've not been given that kind of treat, say, a diving, because some of these people, you don't have to get them loose in Ghana. You have to make sure that they go back to their home country. And this is the states where they find themselves in, that they have an open air detention. It's not like they are enclosed somewhere. Baby Omobeda is just a tent.
Okay.
And they clarify and as a classify this condition as abysmal and deplorable. I will use tents as shelter. And so the migrants are not from Ghana and have been told they will be sent to other countries that have been determined to be too dangerous by U.S. immigration judges, making it the latest legal challenge to the Trump administration's practice of sending people to countries other than their own, including El Salvador, Panama, Costa Rica, and several African countries. So these are some of the countries that you do Omoko, and it is a challenge to the Trump administration, because most of the countries, they are not allowing do you understand? And you put baby near the more and sana you will be transferred back into your countries. Defendants have enlisted the government of Ghana to do their dirty work. It says despite the minimal pass through involvement of the Ghanaian government, defendants' objective is clear: deport individuals who have been granted fear-based relief. Yes, the complaint filed by a lawyer from Asian Americans Advancing Justice asked a judge to immediately halt deportations to their countries of origin. And yes, defendants have enlisted the government of Ghana to do their dirty work. Say, US, most countries are against it.
Okay.
And Oma enlisted Ghana, and yes, most countries didn't agree say they and who say Ghana is agreeing to all the dirty works that the US current administration is doing.
Okay.
This is what people are fully say it is a bad thing because I didn't say a cost no. Don't want any injury. So won't me find the panel and come back to another country. If they are not accepting them, then you might as well just leave them there. But so some of these countries who are agreeing to allowing these migrants to come, I mean, do you understand? So this is, I mean, what is going on? And Magana, so you echo for a yes, and send we. So defendants' objective is clear: deport individuals who have been granted fear-based relief from being sent to their countries of origin, to those countries anyway, in contravention to the rulings of the U.S. immigration judges and U.S. immigration laws. So when Timmy Fanny Panning call on one side the home country, it will be best say I mean U.S. home.
Let's say the decision Donald Trump took in the first place, or mindful for us to say it was a wrong decision. Oh yes, I mean it was a wrong decision because you don't know how they will be treated in other home countries. Look at how they are being treated, and it is sending signals out there. Do you understand? It is sending signals out there. Say we brought them here, and look at the kind of treatment we have. I mean, now on the very last part. The lawsuit was filed a day after Ghana's president confirmed the arrival of the 14 deportees. Ghana joined Eswatini, Rwanda, and South Sudan as African countries that have received migrants from third countries who were deported from the U.S., an approach whose legality has been questioned by lawyers and human rights organizations. So yes, right after the day President held media personalities at Flagstaff House, the next day, in a lawsuit I mean, it is trying to put all of us, I mean, some of those countries, including Ghana, in human rights or more red list. So some of these countries are agreeing to some moves via the current President Trump, the administration, and yet it's not a good thing. The human rights is speaking against it. Ghana is one way or the other agreeing to it. Because in the first place, it goes against it is not legal. Okay. Do you understand? Then all of a sudden, we are also agreeing to this deportation. Okay. But where do you think the lawsuit will be leading to? Do you think it will really have a positive feedback and also a negative feedback?
Well, it is putting Ghana on the red list of some of these human rights activists because some of Ghana say the action is not something that they are, I mean, agreeing to. Do you understand? All of a sudden, Ghana is agreeing to, I mean, receiving some of these deportees other than their own home country. And Kenya Bonio, some of you what prevents you from waiting till their home countries agree someone for Mombra? Do you understand? And so you don't just take people to other. You see what our president cited say. Okay, or better West Africans because they travel in between countries without visas. And see that is his basis. And there are some other people who are even talking about the fact that some of these things it was a parliament gratitude. And to Ghana some people feel there's some irregularities even before because all of a sudden, out of the blue, the president is telling us, 14 phobia. People were citing Gitmo 2, Guantanamo Bay phobia that they came some other time. The same thing, it was President Mahama. The same deportees, so human rights, they are not happy with the fact that you don't take them to their home country. So any other country who agree to I mean, it's not a good thing for you as a country.
And they say, Swatini, other countries in so deportees. Is it Ghana and Kwani facing this particular issue with a year handling a year this deportees?
Oh, there are so many other African countries, but I can state say Nigeria didn't agree to it.
Okay.
Most of them are Nigerians. Do you understand? There is one country, they took over 200 people there.
Wow.
One country, they took over 200 people there. In the Ghana, but you see, said Ghana, people always look out for, I mean, there should be rights to information. Or saying, you know, you are aware of, I mean, this is what is really going to happen, or this is what is happening. So we will be aware. And I say, yeah, aware crowd. If people are there to speak against it, because we also have some of these human rights activists in there, they can also start talking about it. Do you understand? And yes, there are so many other countries who are agreeing to it. Most of these deportees, now we are lucky. Our president was able to bargain to the fact that he wants only West Africans, and West Africans nearby. But the other countries we take Africans there. Do you understand? They are even out of this continent, Africa, and we take them there before but some are inside America and some other countries. So it's not just only Ghana, but the flights to Ghana and no one some and Abbas here the lawsuit Abbas here. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for giving us more details about this issue. We are moving on, and then we are moving on to Ivory Coast, and as it stands now, we are hearing to take Simbi from Ivory Coast as it stands now, and what we could say, they say, and they say a lot of people were not expecting what we are seeing, but I say see now. Ivory Coast, Chirema, they are former first lady. She's done something that nobody has done before, because the reactions that is coming, it looks like a lot of people are surprised about the mere fact say this woman has taken a bold decision out of the blues. I say it is happening. Now, somebody will ask, what is happening? Yes, as you can see on the screens, and say the former first lady of Ivory Coast or contested for presidency Ivory Coast Maino Emu. Chris, what is unique and I said what is special about this Amankofo Bebre Ekasahu?
Yes, so when Onwangasa Nikunu Lauren Gbagbo,
okay,
or really here for close to 11 years.
Okay.
Now people were seeing her say, "Onuna or coordinate BBA."
Okay.
Onuna BBA and tia ba say ye no Lauren Gbagbo dwane ni adini nyina no. This lady went into hiding because she was part of omo ani ye pese ye den ye chi omo ni bi. All of a sudden, as BBC News omo are reporting, Ivory Coast Iron Lady.
Okay.
From hiding in a bunker to presidential hopeful. After all of a sudden, Wapie says she wants to contest for a year. Next year, Ivory Coast more presidential elections, and as elections are a bit personal. And I think we'll go through what BBC said about this particular woman. So, former Ivory Coast First Lady Simeon Gbagbo has gone from hiding in a bunker in an attempt to avoid arrest to defiantly announcing she will run for a year president. And yes, Simeon Gbagbo, now Lauren Gbagbo, she went into hiding because but all of a sudden, after so many years, she has come back and then what declares she wants to stand or she wants to run for a year president. In an extraordinary comeback, the controversial 76-year-old was this week surprisingly allowed to contest October's election, calling on supporters to help build a new nation.
Okay, so Ebusia said a year near Bemano Kano. Na say a year Ivory Coast for former first lady Simeon Gbagbo. Ye sense ye penukuna cheno ewo niema bi ekoso a ankoso yie maame no be break akrani ni de enhye da enten nka. Now all of a sudden na watchie mu ye be wan se maame yi ni ti mi na mi nie o me be contest for elections election no so October na se busumi eda ye ni mi nte se akabe na kakra bi na watwe be mienu miensa bi pe na maame che se putuprumu wote ya yete ya ne se waba se opese wogina se mampani ewo Ivory Coast. Now to aso a o say now with a criminal conviction and a divorce behind her, she takes center stage as a presidential candidate in her own right. Intina to say chirema wono ankasa no wonini kunu abanyama ne kakra wo munya ye no ase ne ho bo mu kakra a wo mugu so nhwehwemu na ye tete sa warigya ye nso bata ne ho kakra na nso maame ne se gyae o magaba kra wono nso wabegyina mu bi akensie no wogina mu tare se wono nso opese ye to aba edema no na yeyi ne se mampani ewo Ivory Coast mino emu. Osegbagbo was Ivory Coast first lady from 2000 to 2011 and was dubbed the Iron Lady due to her reputation for toughness. And the Ejema mami we nikunu etna so from a year after 2000 edekwapem a year 2011, which is about 11 years. Now betna so nyina edinya amanfo boje ne sopa Iron Lady. Na busia wa oti Iron Lady ana say oba genge oba ya santoa oba Ghana hanum say dia enye said they can gang leaders you can gangali so no na ni asia wan oda de ankasa say we dey watching you obo tintintin na ni ase bare sa esanse na ni edene etisa ene wo mofra no ewo Ivory Coast. O say while her supporters fondly called her maman, which French word you can say mom no. Gbagbo was feared within the party. She set up with her husband the Ivory Coast Popular Front FPI. They say amanyokua wanini kunu ede eba ye no edin eda so FPI. Now ye chirema na say maame no wanini kunu nyina na sebe wo mo ede sa amanyoko no eba ye sa amanyoko no so agidin pa Ivory Coast mino emu. I say all the ministers respect me, and they often consider me above them, she told French magazine Elle Express during her husband's presidency. Inti niema bi a omode ekai no and say brana nikunu wo honom no chirema aswafo mu ye adwuma nyina ebuno to the sense e bi mu kra ehu ne say wo so kro we chen wo mo no te so echen wo mo sa phone. Now say at rallies Gbagbo often invoked her evangelist Christian faith, firing off spirited, eloquent speeches in support of a husband. Into ye kanabakwa sema that is say Drew say campaign koswa and our rallies aseno utie ma mena nese no de ni Christo suma shemu kakra na nie or the Bible afemu no de sparken kofon hom ne ade ene etemu anano kasa nso de ana che say wo de airtime eye nikunu echi eye Lauren Gbagbo. Now oba say Gbagbo met Lauren in 1973 at a time when both were powerful figures in Ivory Coast trade union movement. Intino maame na bakwasem na ne eguso ehwem because obeka say na maame we nso ye hwan a prekope opese ye den ye to ne so ababe ye mampani omu chema wo hia nikunu Lauren Gbagbo ewa afi eye 1973 na wo mumienu nyina de wo ho enye se bia Lauren Gbagbo ne kofa ano ne maami bede ne ho na se chirema ye ka manfo magidin eba no dwadie mu nsam de anate se maame no wa kodore mu ankasa na nikunu nso de onu nso gina ne na so enti ho no ena wo mumienu de eden ehia Gbagbo had degrees in history and linguistics, and as a teacher was a key member of various educators union. Inti echema na se maame no na wo ye adesuani a se be wabo ni degree wo ye history mu na afen so ba na linguistics se kasa hodo ni ade a eno nso no na wo bo ne homodene wo mu pa na wo san ye kyekire ni a wo dom ye akyekirefo ku ahodo wo ye Ivory Coast mino emu. Was it the couple's relationship was also built on the struggle against then President Felix Houphouët. Internet is womu chema de ma womu mienu kretimi ka womu bo mu ne se no mu kra adwene baako. So ompese womu sorry de etia sa abrɛ no mampani a na wo ho a friend Felix no ena no mani abre pa se papa we ensuo mu awiem wo se etimi tu ni firi so. Enti sanka bomu ne adwen kro no ena etimi ma wo no eni ni kunu etimi ka womu ho ebo mu se. O se the Gbagbos protested against Houphouët's autocracy, which lasted for 33 years, calling for multi-party democracy. Into omutrema na mampani a no ho dada no wono de chese kebi ma minke bia memu no no mfanya hwe wono nko a ne kasa ejina ane okasa empu a na epu okasa enhye a na ehye enti eho akomate ena ye Laurent Gbagbo ene ne yere Simeon ne ka omadwen bo mu a sebe Houphouët no watena so emfinhia ye eduasam yensa no womo etimitu ni se omo nso omo peke bi ma minke bi amemu no ewo eye Côte d'Ivoire emanu emu. As a result of their activism, the pair were jailed several times. And there's a way they odolastic womo don womo di afa ejemu we na mafa ojemu na so jana hyehyeme womo afaniemem akode fiase nyina esign dynasty a womo ye den esiye. Was I engaged in political struggle against the former regime alongside men, Gbagbo recalled in her El Express interview. Enti woko eye interview aye bisa ne nsem no en wo kanema wa femu a sebe ene wote se de wote enteze wotira o man abakwasem se be mu de enti e wo se Côte d'Ivoire man no eto aba ema no. Say I spent 6 months in prison. I was beaten, molested, left for dead. After all those trials, it's logical that people don't mess with me. And said the tea makers yes no iron lady no ebinie also no ade fiase abosumi nsia ya bono ya ye na ya kayaka de say du baabi na aka owura be fa meko aha ena missing na nso ni nyina mu no ogina ye ekokoden into obi en obetimi abekire ni foko Ivory Coast mine no emo. So in 1982, the pair co-founded the FBI. That same year, Laurent fled to France following harassment from Houphouët security forces, and Gbagbo was left to raise the couple's twin daughters alone. In 1982, and when you kunu ete FBI amanyuko no, sa afini mo a na wo se ni kunu edwane edeko France esan say mampani a no ho dada no na odinani esi ne ho panti ono nko a ene gina akwanten kro ene wotete omuntafo ma omo ewu omu. After 6 years apart, Laurent returned and the pair married in an intimate ceremony with less than 10 guests present. So Warren come worry ni pair ba say omu 10. What a wow. And Tuntimu said this woman has a lot of stories to tell. Ye share Ivory Coast abakwasem ni mu a na say Tuntimu say maame no wa kire so ye iron lady ampa ene out of the blues ena wasan ba say yensan ma na kwanya na omra emedi Ivory Coast oman no enim enti ehwe say Ivory Coast timemufo a wo honom no ebia wo mu be yi omani ama the issues surrounding them no na womo ato abano ede ama mami se de be ya wono nso ebetimi abeye mampani atoa nikunu ne legacy no eso afei yemra ye my Ghana emu na ensem bebre apop up na nsen efibra immigration ensem we eba ye no ye hu se Ghana ye mampani amanfo bebre ahyase ede omunsa tinetine ne so se na anu asem bi etwemu na sebe ase ye brahye so ye kan ye brahye so no kame ensem mampani John Dramani Mahama ne hu ebo mu kakra Chris ede ne ekoso.
Yes, former foreign affairs minister.
Okay.
The then NPP government.
Okay.
And about Bontina or Kasa about the fact that yes, yet all of a sudden, yes, Ghana Jinipa 14 deportees from the United States of America. You see, only coins or Motina United States of America, and I do
coins on Betna
Aba Ghana because of more coins or Motina Ghana. Now, or not someone or can. And it said, and some be saying, I was sent for Parliament. Now, yet immediate tomb, sample, a sefata, say, I bet me out AGYAPONG'S say, a year 14 deportees no more US no, ye did on mobile until who say, President John Dramani Mahama one famra kwan so energy to mu say nipa 14 no omo emra Ghana has nti ono ne nsemo a ode atudwa eno no.
Okay, enti na twese or link issue no to yetete so or link to assembly AC pen say mampani John Dramani Mahama o say Ghana fo ani eda ho isan say papa no yetene ho anu the 6 adane ye 9 eno nkire mu ni yesen.
Yes, so Yemen phobia maybe at your mobile. So that is what we have on our screen. So Gitmo 2.
Okay.
You deportee almost free prison. Okay. So criminals. No so Ghana agreed. Say you do Ghana has Ghana has and it is some kind of a repeat. Because they also came from the United States of America. And I do Ghana has and they said the same thing. As I seen on reports now we have on our screens. I will say Mahama repeating Gitmo 2 controversy with the US deportees. NPP, NPA, former Foreign Affairs Minister of the NPP government and or the Etujana. Okay.
And Tinache say the whole issue has got to do with deportees 14 years. Nese Mahama dear or no kwa or baswa or did deportees will chroma san or moka.
That is what people are saying. Inti Osha on our screens are what we have there. Yeah, Charles Oredu, former NPP, Abrim in the Eastern Region MP. So a former Foreign Affairs Minister has accused President John Dramani Mahama's government of violating the constitution by accepting Nigerian and Gambian migrants deported from the United States under a secret agreement. Now, people are talking about a secret agreement because there is, in the president's delivery, he didn't state any other thing apart from the fact that they are Western Africans. And what was that agreement? Enti ema omo say as ye say ampa yema eye sa foreigners no omo emra no. So that is what the former Foreign Affairs Minister no Oka. So Charles Oredu, the New Patriotic Party NPP MP for Abrim in the Eastern Region, said Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution required international agreements to be approved by Parliament, but the deportation deal was never presented.
Yera Charles Oredu peso chese ansana anka ye mampeni John Dramani Mahama bejisa nipa 14 Nigeria for ni Gambia for nanke was say pass it through your parliament ansa sanete.
Yes.
Enti se Mahama nya ne sade na say bibia koso okukwem.
Yes, so the first part was talking about a secret agreement.
Okay.
Now, it's required agreements. I mean, Megan is a international agreements. This is an international agreement because it's between countries. It is such agreement has to be agreed upon because some of these things in it affects the entire nation as a whole. You make a 50% tariff for President Trump to Brazil for so. It is affecting a Brazil for now.
Sure.
Do you understand?
Sure.
Once your goods are moving out of Brazil, that 50% tariff will be. Do you understand? And some of these agreements, now that is what I was saying in the previous Ghanaians had to get to know about it. Now, through our MPs. Now, say, and I say, effect, and I say, what they better Ghana in case a Ghana. So this is, an international agreement, and per our constitution, Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution is saying that it has to be brought to Parliament. Na yembobo hu yina yenjintum ansa na ayejuma. Eti oto aso also the deal should have been brought to Parliament. Already said in a Facebook post. It's the same President Mahama who entered into a deal to relocate the Gitmo 2 to Ghana. What's in for our beloved country? So this is a very big question
amount
for visa, and people have started citing the fact that Ghana US visa application. You see, Ghana President Bekwan Biswa tariffs dodona so eba no ebi betimi aka Ghana the president Bekwan Biswa edi agum. A whole lot of issues. People are talking about the fact that Ghana might go in for an aid. I mean, you have to be in the good books of President Trump and sana wetimi enya some of these things. And yes, what is it for our beloved country Ghana? That is something that we are yet to really pinpoint. So this is the reason why I agree. Say these deportees omo emra Ghana.
Okay, but we remember clearly, say President John Dramani Mahama disclosed of this information during the encounter with the press. Now, one stated categorically, say, "Oebia, 14 deportees here, Joe Donald Trump, Obama is say, and I said, "Need your kind and say 14 na
Yes, so I stated that, and President himself stated that when this was put before him, or making a class, it has to be Western Africans, people of Western African descent. So Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire. Some of these people, yes, you bet me agiomo. But Ekobase will be free. Ever say South Africa will be free, Kenya, any other countries, DRC, any omode yenjomo. And that was the basis I was citing in that particular conference. But as to say A and I say B about Ghana ho, this is what really goes into the agreement. I mean, we didn't get it. And what he said has nothing to do with Donald Trump. What he said has something in relation with ECOWAS. Say ECOWAS hano, yejitum say, oh yeah, Western African, you can move in between countries without visa any day. So that is the only basis that he stated. And people's speculations eba bebre say ebia tariffs ya day visa application ya day no na president best or mwana Ghana for kan ho toy kakra no. That is yet to be confirmed with international agreements na foreigners deported foreigners omonye Ghana for no ye de ejomo eba ha no. That is the only basis deportation.
Okay, but can we say with what is happening, any amount for about this John Dramani Mahama's decision, no? Can I say repeat the same mistakes of the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, taking decisions without considering Ghana for?
Well, me kind of say, you see, most of the international related issues, the president, the foreign affairs minister, and some other sections they are mostly related to it. Do you understand? But if it is in the constitution, say some of these, because say trade agreements, any idea, trade ministry, through the trade ministry, it will come to parliament for agreements, and even bring out more understanding and as a benefiting policies Ghana for. But with this one, said already Charles Oredu former foreign affairs minister he's been there and he knows, says some of these things as the president, you don't take decisions alone. Okay. Do you understand? All of a sudden in the press statement, and I say meeting with the press, now you better say President Eka say no. People was raising eyebrows, say, is it the same thing that happened some years back? I did it more too for Ebahan. Ebiana started because this is not the last time I remember. Okay. They are coming in batches. You need better now almost 200 people plus. Abba has said they be other countries now. That will raise a lot of questions. Yes. People are talking about the fact that he just took that decision on his own without, consulting or involving the parliament.
Wow. I was here and some day a dorsum in some no so nyama bibri ena koso. She say ye free Ghana hanum say ye bekwa kopie mu ewo Brazil. Na obebusa say Brazil de koso. Me obi a mete Brazil the first thing that comes to my mind football. Sak or mine will see much as I want to miss your poor margin wenche. But Brazil and they are in the news because of a year or more a former president. And a former president, the money I am saying, then they see then they cost so near the idea. And here Bani say, former president, idea, ye jail no, ya sentence no. What is his crime? How many years and years sentence no? A dear in power they see what really went on, what really went wrong. A day they see a more update in Ewaha. Chris, former president of Brazil. Say they sitting in home aqua abain edding nkaba egunensa boneben enowedi.
Yes, former president of Brazil, Bolsonaro, Eduardo Bolsonaro. The one came as yachino. I mean, jailino for 27 years. And tia ebe training say there are some other cases. A bit me president na come one require for life.
Wow.
So this is what is coming from a former president Bolsonaro of Brazil.
Wow.
And in Brazil, former Bakosemono, he's the first ever president where free swap yachino and we all know say this president he has a very deep ally with President Trump.
Okay.
It is someday baby every honoma aba abeto edwaso.
Okay. Charges being any the board no a deporting NY.
Okay, in 2022 in Brazil elections.
Okay.
President Luis da Silva. Yes, Owini Owini no na president that time Bolsonaro na ontiase one na chitai for no so omonje abato nintum. Fast forward omo ye minka say riots bebre.
Okay.
Omo ye I mean a lot of demonstrations the most important buildings and as a places Brazil. The presidential palace, they went the parliament house, and so Omokohoma, the judicial Supreme Court, also Omokohon, Cossessa, Nema Bebre. Emma actually, President Isa Twa, so Senka, former military people, Ombe boom as a recruitee, currently, that's what military nimuno. Until the very first the born was an attempted coup.
Wow.
Yes. So that is one of them. And another charge the born also democracy, which we try democracy because we have duly elected a president, but you are trying to find ways and means back to power. Charge back also born Supreme Court judge. And I say penny and if I say be a chief justice as at that time new president Luis da Silva beto so no ebesi so no person mo fa kwan bia so nenko omu enye den enyi ne mfiri ho nti sir this president he's facing about 5 charges their bonus say the current judgment aba no 27 years plus and idea mana or the echo efiase.
He had about 5 charges.
Yes.
Oh wow, this is very sad. Now, and somebody there we see said a lot is happening. Social screens and so this is a reportage. If we Al Jazeera and Eba internet say it's all talking about Brazil former president and arrest that yasa so a charge no na ya convicted no ehunsem eno omo eka into was say Brazil's president Luis Inácio Lula da Silva has dismissed criticism from the United States over the conviction of the country's former leader Jair
Bolsonaro
on coup charges. International so to say and some no is something is there an accusation on Luis that as a washeda and our convicted former president now?
Yes. So from the United States, what President Trump can say ohun said this is some kind of a witch hunt and omode ebo no ankasa na damfo Bolsonaro because on tiase because on any situation or here President Trump was could be muda. The same thing happened with President Trump. Free so no they tried to some of now modern court but he was able to find his way out. And I don't know if we have the video, maybe probably we'll go back and watch when President Bolsonaro in call for Omutusi Montenswa as of 2023. Now yes our protest no. I don't know if we have that video. We can go and watch that video. Then the next video we can also watch is the one with President Trump trying to on Luis da Silva, the current president of Brazil, said what they are doing is a typical witch hunt and Bolsonaro because someone comes out to sharing displeasure about what went on in Kenya Bonnie if we have that.
People are trying to drag our former president into it, and also
yes, and he said the medical kind. President Bolsonaro, he was a very good ally with President Donald Trump.
Okay.
And see, the very first time started say because as of before at the jail, but he was on house arrest. He was just in his house.
Okay.
Sometime depending on who bonting, if you know as house arrest, some pictures of him at the bar bonting. And see, what President Donald Trump was also saying about it. After conviction, a man house arrest in England, President Trump came out and ordered 50% tariffs. Trade tariffs added to Brazil for so. All this was to make them feel say it was President Bolsonaro and all of a sudden this 50% tariffs is going to affect the Brazilians. And it was just an effort to push the government. So yes, our charges now so that was the kind of ally now only President Trump was. So President Trump was asked, say what? So what downfall and as they say I actually 27 years. No, okay, say only the court trade agreements he knows how firm he is. He was the best for Brazilians, but until say all of a sudden they are witch hunting him, or me a prosecuting and I say or more adding a judgment about 27 years. What we have on our screens here. The events in the Brazilian capital echoed the storming of the U.S. Capitol by Trump's supporters on January 6th, 2021. This has some kind of okay, so this is what is currently going on. The chair said yes. In as much as Donald Trump is supporting him in England, people also have the views there. Why you bonnet and I chill? And see, I was say you're causing a heading. You prosecute you not say you do better man you do to. And this is what is also raising so many some about. That's how you come Hagana. Say so many appointees. They be made the bonnet even. The past president said, "Bibi will hold and say why we have to go into it and Enya said they will go back and then some of these things it raised a lot of eyebrows with younger Sayagana and I see it is some people are cutting deals a bet me actually say ebi mo betimi akọ scot free any ade.
Okay.
But we can see what is happening in other countries are we on your appointee o. He's a whole president. And I yet me achina ya convicted no I mean yamano this jail sentence so yes, this is what is happening in Brazil with their former presidents being jailed for 27 years plus.
Well, na chese it leaves us to the fact say the Ghana phobi no more call say oh President Akufo-Addo cannot walk a free man because ebinum class IT examples with the National Cathedral near there say sikasem but the last time we heard the President John Dramani Mahama say they are still doing audit into a year the cathedral in Sensem near there so that means say niema bakum ye nubi ekoso na ye investigations ni who say our president, our former president, then as an example, Brazil we should expect seeing from President Mahama and the administration dealing with the former president.
Yes, I mean, and yes, and some Buboba say, I want for try some for the opposition party,
okay.
And can we still have that kind of trust, say, because and some no be a president there is the president that agrees to certain things say come back into being.
Okay.
So you should show from a appointees no because you know cathedral yasemi it is huge money. Do you understand? And I mean yes, it happened. There were so many breaches. The last man standing is the president who agrees to some of these payments to be done. Yes, the financial minister is there, the finance minister is there. I mean, say how this, especially the National Cathedral, President Angasababa said, "Oh no, dear, yes." So see this kind of edifice in Ghana. I mean, no one is above the law. Said the AC canon. And see, it is happening somewhere. That is the first time in Brazil they are convicted a former president. It can also happen in Ghana. So if you show someone if it is supposed to happen like this, I mean
it can also happen.
Because this morning I was hearing say there's a whole lot going on.
Okay.
And I as
a Ghana police, no?
Because evidences are scattered. I will say you evidence no, but na down for be and then there former government in the and who ya basem. What I say, in who ya basem no, my many fast na many the transition. And the people are covering up, and it is making the work very difficult. If you get a can answer no, he stated it straight. That people are under pressure. And the pressure now they are under no, it is being caused by Omwangasa Hunipa or more party. Because these people are trying as much as possible. I mean, so their people can walk freely. But yes, now Akufo-Addo's former president Akufo-Addo's now appointees are being, I mean, they are under investigation. If only say people will be allowed to work and work diligently. He said gradually it will get there, and whoever is part of this, I mean, they will all be convicted.
Wow. The last time we move to our next story, do you think Mahama is somebody that can really stand on her toes like Louise to convict Akufo-Addo?
I don't know that people.
Assemblies of God.
Oh, that be say, oh no, Omaka say, prophets been a kind, or say, oh no, Nanka so for dear Kakra wonimu. Ebia. It's not like so big James said them a kind. I mean, all these allegations are still under investigation. So you see, the president in there, they can say appoint sometimes so as a president, it is your appointees. Sometimes we do na be so with the former president, who said he came out, especially was a me bought a cathedral as well. Barbon said me and some person anyway. And he said no crescent and call for na arm. I mean, it will go against him. And the President John Dramani Mahama, he is there. He's working. That is what he started with. He started with the oral team, trying to bring everybody to book. And he said, for you. President Akufo-Addo. I mean, he's working. What needs to be done? Yes, it will be done.
Yeah. Ebusiafo na ye to ansem ne so dia. Sabre there have been a lot of calls. They say on social media so ubehu na ye the picture be of Sami Jemfi a wojina Galamsey site our ma press conference na manfo busa say Sami Jemfi ejai Galamsey ni ho asem kan na Sam George wejai ho asem kan na John Dumelo wejai ho asem kan na. I mean, a lot of people are calling say the NDC, one major thing on the campaign in 2024, Galamsey are not just say somewhere even instigating say baby Galamsey na kojuno. The former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo must call for a state of emergency. Now there no more can't say president now John Dramani Mahama ko campaign kra no can say he has even outlined a lot of strategies Mampeni ko internet ni so former Mampeni or ko internet so be hu bi ede aye ejuma se de be obetimi akebe Galamsey nanu a wo hia media fo a omu bisa Galamsey hu asem e bi kra ka say baby aye dro no. I think it's high time or calling for a state of emergency Mampeni se de bi enu hoye munya botre niema wo ho bi e wo se ye ni ade funnily enough no. And then, yeah, that's sorry, no, not to say. The former Chief Justice, Mami Sofaye Akufo, I was serving in the President Akufo-Addo's era, no. Wababe Kasa. Now, also screens also, former Chief Justice Sofaye Akufo urges Ghanaians to give President Mahama the benefit of doubt on calls for him to declare state of emergency on mining. Na che say ye tie se de nsem ne keka kona ye bone tofa de na say Mami Sofaye Akufo is in a highly supported spirit towards Mampeni nsema wo kan ye ne say yendru state of emergency yet yendru hoye enti munyina munya botre koka chika ni nyina put it on a halt na mama Mampeni nye de wo so ye yenyandru ho mumunya botre. Now I'll just squeeze this so I'll say weighing in on a pressing national debate, former Chief Justice Sofaye Akufo has called for perspective. She encourages citizens to offer President Mahama the benefit of the doubt on the serious consideration of declaring a state of emergency on illegal mining. Enti mumbu Mampeni aso mama papa ni nya home when you're breathing air in state of emergency oko TikTok amaye before no my a few moments later they say omo kan se ma Mampeni aka ne nansen ano. But it is what the former Chief Justice Eka about this whole issue. Amanfo Bebre are disappointed in her for coming out to throw such words out. Any ideas claiming say or pese Ghana for binom say be yenum ensuofini ewu ansana wo hu say we need to call for a state of emergency and throw more light on said the Ghana for reacted to Mami Way Ensemno.
You see, when you are in opposition, you tend to say a lot. But when you come into power, that is when the work itself or the work actually begins. People expect you to, do what you were telling us. Do what you told us that made us vote for you. And President John Dramani Mahama, there's been so many calls saying, you are the president. Galamsey aye gune de and Kenya de be also ye odin. But you said there's been so many excuses.
Okay.
Some of them will have press conference. They will go to Galamsey's site and they will start measuring some of the amena here to two. They will stand there and tell you, said this is what is happening, and and President Mahama with meeting with the president. Yes, there are calls for you to bring out say a state of emergency on illegal mining, and I said Galamsey, and all the 2 years say there are so many other factors I also consider. And what our former Chief Justice, Sofia Akufo, is saying, yes, a lot of people, I mean, in the coming days, we will still see people bringing out their comments, especially people in the NPP, because also President Mahama Bafufono, people in the NPP, some of them came out to praise him. Ebimu Babonte Beche said, oh, we are supporting him, why are there? I mean, some people came out to support him.
Okay.
And the Ebimu want to say, with Sofia Akufo, Nensema or the other two justices here, Omatina say, Oma analyze here, we say, Untimin Giant 50%, do you understand? And what she is saying is that let's give time some time, because that is supposed to be the very last resort. And sana ya say, oh, ya try all mechanisms, system be also did go akwem na ya de hot galamsey no, ya de go akwem, but it is not yielding any fruit. And the last resort is for us to declare a state of emergency. And we should give him the benefits of the doubt with the fact, say yes, on to as a president, not Dakra. Definitely there is something going on of which they are trying to use that to hold a galamsey. And yes, deep down, some people are not happy in the NPP because former Chief Justice of our biggest, saying some of these things to your biggest rival, or politics, I mean, a lot of people are not really happy with it. But you see, at a point when some people speak, people will just overlook it and try to be on their own. But Omon reacted to it, and then America said, going ahead in the days, we will see a lot of people coming out, I mean, to speak against some of these things. Okay,
but one question I'm after Bebusan is, why is it that when there was so much pressure being mounted on the former administration, the Kufuor-led government, so when you be for Galamsey, to say you demonstration course so prior to the 2024 elections near there, why didn't this woman come out to say pressure now more than me Kufuor no munya botre ye bepe bibia ye afa, but Mahama there as a worker be amano.
You see, when you are in government, your spectacles is quite different from when you are in opposition. Do you understand?
Okay.
So the Medi Kaka said a lot of people came out and they were praising President John Dramani Mahama. Even in the NPP party, people came out and they were praising President John Dramani Mahama. It's not something you bet me I say it just came out of the blue.
Okay.
Is it that people feel say Papa Mahama Nkasa, or when she was with the past government, NPP government, is it that she didn't see some of these mechanisms? Okay. Do you understand? These are some of the questions. But say when you are in government, when you come out and you say anything, people will start holding them against your party. They will make sure that whatever that you said, we should see the effect of it. We should see them being rolled out. Do you understand?
Okay.
And some of these appointees, and former Chief Justice, as at that time she was Chief Justice, and you have to be careful with some of the things you come out and then you say. And to make I say, in that particular moment, she was not in the position. Chief of Staff and a Barbontin and Quebec Kasaya about Galam saying the idea go that one is fair, because as a Chief Justice, assembly bet me about Galam say they will start referring you. You see, but to see or opposition here, she has the liberty to say whatever that she wants to say. Do you understand? Yeah.
But looking at the caliber of a person or and a persona no any contribution to the state Ghana minor. What do you think will be the effects to Ghana as a whole and to the political space?
Yeah, political space in India. I mean, the NDC will start scoring marks with what former Chief Justice Akano.
Okay.
But in the long run, Ghana as a whole, citizens, say, and no pressure mechanism be able to I mean, definitely the Galamsey's effect are affecting in one way or the other. And yes, the NDC will continue to score political points with, what the woman said. And the NPP on the other side won't be very happy with some of the utterances a free Mamenoho and when she speaks, say with the kind of position I was holding in the past, it carries weight.
Okay.
And you could see, say, it will calm a lot of people down.
Okay.
Do you understand? But deep down, a human the head and a course I was here, can be so
okay.
You see, and yes, in a way, it's about calming some people down. It also has an effect on the NPP, which the NDC will capitalize on it and then score political points.
Oh wow! It was an actually say it's said the Mr. Fire for the former Chief Justice Abekano no ebema as a NDC for we need some bonuses be near the idea, but say ebano ye o man anymore. Nensem no so could touch a lot of hearts. Ebema nkofo bi no menya but say oh say former Chief Justice Ampa and the Kufado government abeka say they are not say ebetimi ayeden aye no kre aye say the other magba ko to testi tom ho no as a one man nipa ni arishimu so onko to testi tom ti say the maame no nso aka no no say wa magana fo bi enya gide say o achi aso enye den emuye ense kra nso ukọ ase ho a obehu say galamsey no de o yene kese pa ena edebre o my Ghana de yesre ne se mampani John Dramani Mahama edimanim ya no betimi aye bribi de afa sa issue we hu se de waye dem waka no now ye moving on na yensan enkopie mu ewo eye Burkina Faso maino emu a ye de ye nam ena ye tete ensem a ye tete no ene se eye Burkina Faso ensem bi esi ewo honom a emu nsem no ye de ebebre mu ye hwe we emra.
After the talks, I led a team to the Bukani region, where some 13,253 displaced compatriots originally sought refuge. My visit was aimed at conveying a special message from President John Dramani Mahama to conduct further assessment of the situation for additional consular assistance, to express Ghana's gratitude to our Ivorian counterparts, and to offer immediate assistance. During my visit, I discovered that about 8,000 Ghanaians have safely returned home. The latest census conducted revealed that the remaining number of Ghanaians in Côte d'Ivoire is 5,309. 5,309, no more 13,253. I delivered a special message from President Mahama, which was a message of peace and forgiveness, and a message appealing to all our compatriots to return home, since government has beefed up security and ensured that normalcy is restored. On behalf of President Mahama, I donated 6 million CFA to cover urgent humanitarian needs and to facilitate logistical requirements for their safe return home. This donation is distinct from other relief items, including food, water, blankets, and medicines already provided through NADMO. During my 3-day working visit, I held discussions with my Ivorian counterpart, His Excellency Kaku Huaja Leon Adom, about the displaced Ghanaians in Côte d'Ivoire. After the talks, I led a team to the Bukani region, where some 13,253 displaced compatriots originally sought refuge. My visit was aimed at conveying a special message from President John Dramani Mahama. Okay, so next on our story is Israel and Qatar. I mean, Israel bombed Qatar recently. I mean, a whole assembly ebe to John. Now, when Ghana, yes, so yedi no echo to Mumbi.
Okay.
Na one in Kessie every Israel for the Abba Ama Ghana.
So if I understand you, say Qatar ni Israel in same year ekosuyano. Ena Ghana yede ehu akwa jim. Yede ehu akwa jim. Ajemu jeni. Now ede importing na Ghana for eko kan ye fa asase mu ehu a ase warning yaba amaye.
Yes, so we cited the fact that we were not, in support of what happened. You won't say Israel will launch an attack on the Hamas leadership.
Okay.
And I say Qatar in general. And you know, I mean, no say I mean, internationally we tend to come out and you see
express our
thoughts and then how we feel about the whole thing. And yes, I'm all feeling as take stand.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because Israel for now come bomb Qatar. Then what is really happening? Is it that you support the Hamas leadership? Do you support the Hamas group? No. Do you support them? And yes, Ghana condemns Israeli attack on Qatar, calls for respect of international law. And he said internationally, people will come out and then try to, either defend or speak against, some happenings also other countries. And so what we have on our screens also the government of Ghana has strongly condemned what is described as an unprovoked Israeli attack on the sovereign state of Qatar, which has reportedly led to casualties, loss of lives, and the destruction of property.
Okay.
And yes, Ghana has strongly condemned, said kind. And to say, does it mean you are in support of Qatar? Do you understand?
Okay, Zeze Metewasia, after the bombing, no, a course no, Ghana for better admin, so the course on the enye, MPC basi no, and just say, I caught you same way na aba, Anna, if I'm right.
Yes.
Okay, in terms of fortune screens as well, way if we Ghana Chronicles, or say just in Israeli ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Roy Gillard, warns that involving in Israeli-Palestine politics could jeopardize the strong relationship between the two nations. He urges Ghana to maintain neutrality to preserve this vital bond. Now, before we go to this man, who spoke about this? Is it a foreign minister? And I said the president. And I just said, Okomeki. Bibi and I said the whole governance, not as a whole.
Yes, you see, internationally.
Okay.
So you see, it comes from government to government.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So the entire government of Ghana had to come out and voice out.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Say, okay. And what's the Israeli ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Roy Gillard, he's trying to state, say, you see. Internationally, no, assembly do you understand?
Okay.
Assembly or you behave as if when you're there. Do you understand? Because they will start referring you to some of the things that you said. What's it? I think that I don't know whether it was last week or so. Where Ghana is located, or because of money. Or money and miss about where Ghana is located. You see, that is just on a lighter note. But said here, Papani Kano, and yes, because it will come back to haunt you as a government. And he's trying to tell us, we should try our best to maintain our neutrality. You see, irrespective of what we gain from some of these countries, you try as much as possible to stand in the middle. Until we have press statement about Bonting from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And if it is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it is the government that is speaking. That is the spokesperson of Ghana's government to international communities. Yes. So Accra, 10th September 2025, the government of the Republic of Ghana has learnt with deep concern the unprovoked Israeli attack on the sovereign state of Qatar, resulting in casualties, loss of lives and properties. The government of the Republic of Ghana condemns the act in view of the fact that the airstrike constitutes a clear violation of international law and an effort to sovereignty of the state of Qatar. This attack undermines the ongoing pursuit of peace between the states. Yes, so this is what the government of Ghana stated.
Okay. International say ebutia asemo Ghana through our Ministry of Foreign Affairs ye kokan ya akotwiga we nyina abano eno ene yeti wan say ye de ho kokobo amaye say asemba ye nkan ya nuntum now abusia de enti asebe wo say Ghana ye sonson ye ho no ebi na da screens no so no enti wo de ye hwe Ghana mine any Israel mine ye share active military personnel asrafo e wo Ghana krodwem hanum say ya 15,500 me ko Israel so kra me sere Chris, I see what I'm saying.
Yes.
Israel for military personnel, yes.
So as against Ghana, no, 169,500.
Inti ekoya ni ebaye.
Military personnel are more Israel.
Where they yesre mampani John Dramani Mahama. Umumo mu ni omulemu because say they work an ye to ba akoto hanum say ya. Ye nya baby amfa o. Like your room cannot even save you. Inti ye ni elemu because looking at a whole Ghana, soldiers for waha 15,500 pe. National Israel 169,500. Utif Ghana deni free ma insisa bebre no mesande ye channel numbers cry and ye the be 5 or 10 bema just is so sad. Now ye share the reserve forces are negligible non well reported reserves or zero in many sources. And just say ye share forest reserves ne sa niema no okrom ha wan kasa o share enipa nso ebekọ akọkọ ntokwa ya abusua Ghana ya ho odin du ho.
Yes, so ye share Israel omo reserve forces and as against Ghana then they are zero.
Oh,
I mean all of them are active, they are all working.
obi anywhere dey na to stand by.
Obi anywhere down chain say bibini na say oh yam famo me support cry betimi ma support but o share the reserve forces of Israel we have 465.
It's even more than the active people.
It's even more than the active military personnel omo Israel na yenko omo tanks and armored combat vehicles cars near there omo de adwuma no
or say zero reported in some recent sources. And oko Israel is 1,300. There's a Ghana there, ye ni bi kra, we have none. And oko Israel, at least they have about 1,300. Now, you say Ghana hanum say armored vehicles, no, non-tanks, that is that part. Oh, the Osha now we have tanks. Tanks need a nibi. And our bus here honoma, which is non-tanks, no. It's 1,600 to 1,800 in total. You can't in bomo non-tanks, no. It's 1,600 to 1,800. But oko Israel or say armored stroke other military vehicles. Israel has many more. Just say yasa and name me like the types ne crowd more one in the idea. Oh, this is serious. And so that shows how equipped Israel is compared to Ghana. And your warning, you can't hey. Remember yen kasa bebre to so because one kasa osha comparison now and that screen is Ghana the tanks and the armor combat 0. Israel has 1,300. Over armored vehicles, no, the non-tanks now, the ones without tanks now, Ghana has about 1,600 to 1,800. You see, Israel has many more. Like adverb adjective many more. That's it's uncountable. When you say something is many more, it's kind po. But Ghana yetimia kind. I'm a total figure. Any idea, Chris?
Yes, so here are reserve forces, though. We have those that are active and those that are reserve forces. Now, these are these are part-time military personnel.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's not that they are active; they are more part-time. Assembly banner secretary. Yes, assembly banner secretary. And yede omo eba yema so omo standby. What I say? Omo ye adwuma na nkasa wo ho. But omo yede omo to standby. Nti we eto that team bi wo ho a o say that dey omo nya ade ne ko. Na omo ya ade no wo buy. Nti emu ye din a.
I say the football bench. Omo bench.
Emu ye din a ene yede omo ye den. Ebem. Nti so wo hwe say 465,000 reserve forces. Omo no ye omo a eye din a na yede omo abem. And you could see say some of these people are so almost standby. Most of them, they try to let them rest somewhere. And you want more active, maybe a newbies, those more yes, although they have their leaders, their commanders there, but some more 465,000 plus reserves. No, more word match. Into at a point, you might say, Joe, home in Kakara, but we are dear. They say, Aqua penny for war party, which is, I mean, a more chain, as a man heading. So this is the comparison. Yeah, the Emma a year, ya phone, ya for a year between Ghana and then Israel.
Now, you're back down to the aircraft part. You see, say, total aircraft A19 Ghana ha, including fixed wings plus helicopters. And you know, there's a year helicopters near 10. And the Akano A9 or mine be to say Ghana. Now, o share a year Israel. Omukromasa yim or more combat capable aircraft near 339. Ushemwa fighters womb grand attack. There's a 339 ko matchem obiya ne de oye. Ghana de 19 ye shemu so fixed wings near helicopter near 10. Helicopter near 10 so timu say baako room. Na no de na si won room no. It say e be ko mukra na say helicopters na ka 9. You yate oba ase ha now share Israel for there na helicopters wo ho 142 total including 43 attack helicopters. And you know o share Israel for media group wo ma setting on mobile anymore. Ghana helicopters 10 oti free Israel for 142 ni mu ansesa bebre beka so said o mesia finish here say ye ni efi asema ebe nwanwa ena ye ba eye ase honum nso a to a honum nso ema ye ho.
Yeah, so we have artillery MLRS rocket systems, towed artillery 6 pieces, rockets, projectors, or MLRS
and we Ghana
6. Yes, Ghana, and then we don't have no self-propelled artillery reported in recent sources. It's towed artillery was there your way. Remember, says our cannonballs. Those are okay, coast or cannonballs.
Yeah,
those ones they are towed.
Okay.
And then on talking about this, you're trying to see the composition, no baby. And Sunday at me, you should.
And on the time, I'll bet you bedrew
on another ABCSC. So those ones are the towed artillery. We have 6 pieces, and then rocket projectors, and also we have 6. To call Israel, almost artillery, no more 532.
Oh, Jesus.
SP towed, so also towed Nibi, SP towed, and then MLRS, etc. And
yes. Ghana day when you're anyway.
So we have so on much we have 6 pieces rocket projectors. The other 2 rockets no.
And no pay.
No. We have 6 pieces. And MLRS so you 6
Neka 12 530 munama balance.
And as I say we don't have any self-propelled artillery reported. It is our self-propelled no they send the suma drones like Onwangasa will move and position itself somewhere before I ever fire BB. Do you understand? We don't have
any B. In 86 Navy 530 anymore. Yeah, the Omoka saying
86 in the Omoka 520.
Any near Fiasem because dear Druno said the ambassador to Israel Abekano. You're a royal cano. 20 and your netikopo. Asem suwe and penipa. Nipa and penny wasem. Tini if yasem na yamfa yanko. Yewurin kosi Burkina Faso. Na ehonom nso ensemo eba no chese. Say Ibrahim Traoré, he's doing a lot. Ibrahim Traoré. This guy, he has been someone that a lot of people has been following up on his issues lately. And in recent times, he's been bringing up initiative and ideas that is really helping his citizens and some countries in Africa. What is the newest think that this man has done that has got a lot of people talking?
Yes, and see, Burkina Faso president. Burkina Faso current president scraps visa fees for African travelers. So, if you are an African and you are traveling to Burkina Faso, you wouldn't need any visa before you can travel to Burkina Faso.
Wow.
Yes, but then what you will have to do, yes, you will equally apply for the visa for it to be given to you, but you won't make any payment for the visa.
Oh, okay. So you can go to the Burkina Faso embassy, apply for a visa without any payment, and then you will get your visa and go to Burkina Faso.
Yes.
Okay. So let's look at how BBC reported this news. So it says Burkina Faso says it has removed visa fees for all African travelers in an effort to facilitate the movement of people and goods into the country. As we can see, what Burkina Faso is trying to do now is that if you're an individual or if you're a person trying to travel to the country, that means that you have a smooth passage into the country. Usually, visa application fee tends to be more like a headache to some people that travel to Burkina Faso. So it makes people usually travel by land, particularly in our jurisdiction, Ghana to be precise. You barely see people traveling to Burkina Faso by flight because of this visa issues and all. They usually tend to travel by land. And as it stands now, Ibrahim Traoré is saying that you can travel to Burkina Faso without paying any visa application fee. Now let's continue. It says from now on, any citizen from an African country wishing to go to Burkina Faso will not pay any amount to cover visa fees, said Mahama Sana, the country's security minister, following a cabinet meeting chaired by military leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré on Thursday. So this information was disseminated by the country's security minister, who has the name Mahama Sana. He stood in to speak on behalf of Captain Ibrahim Traoré and then made it known to all Africans. All Africans. I think this is not limited to only West Africa, right?
Oh yes, it is not limited to only West Africans.
So that means all Africans.
Yes.
Okay. So anyone that is located in any part of Africa and wants to travel to Burkina Faso to carry goods and all that, you have the right to go to Burkina Faso and then freely without paying any visa fee. Now, African visitors will, however, be required to submit an online visa application which will be reviewed for approval, the minister clarified. So this is something that we all have to take note of. The fact that you are not going to pay a visa application fee doesn't mean you will not go through a process or a procedure. So you will definitely go through a procedure to vie for the visa, and you would wait for approval. So it doesn't mean because you didn't pay and you have applied, you can just go to the country just like that. No, you would wait for your visa to be approved before you can set foot into the Burkina Faso country. Now it says the West African nation joins countries such as Ghana, Rwanda, and Kenya, which has eased travel requirement for African visitors. Citizens of West African countries can already travel to Burkina Faso without the need for visas. However, this may change in future because the country has pulled out of the regional bloc ECOWAS, along with its neighbors Mali and Nigeria, which are also under military rule. So Chris, this is what is coming from Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traoré at it again, scrapping off visa application fee. What do you think is the implication of this decision?
Well, it's in as much as it is a good decision for Burkina Faso. The last part you read, however, this may change in the future because the country has pulled out of the regional bloc ECOWAS, along with its neighbors Mali and Niger, which are also under military rule. So looking at this at a point in time, it may change. Okay. Because you are no more part of ECOWAS. You are trying to, build your own union So with the Sahel Union, the kind of union that the three of them are trying to build, these free, you see, this is just to open room for, I mean, a lot of businesses to be conducted in Burkina Faso.
Okay.
A lot of people would want to come in and do business there. Intertrade businesses is allowed in so many ways that you won't be heckled. I mean, you have a free will to enter Burkina Faso to do whatever that you want to do. So it is a very good move for them, because Rwanda, Ghana, some of the other countries who are doing this, you could see it is boosting tourism.
Okay.
It is boosting tourism alongside trade and so many other things. So it is a good step that the president has taken, and it is a way that we could see he is trying to bring back the entire Africa. I'm not saying together, but to still bring people into his country, generate that kind of love, that kind of enthusiasm to do business with Burkina Faso. This is the trend that the president is trying to do: boost tourism, boost trade. I mean, boost international relationship and all that. Okay. But once ECOWAS begins to step in, this is when some of these free visa applications will change. Okay.
Now let's look at how safe this decision is for Burkina Faso. Looking at Captain Ibrahim Traoré, he's one man that is really wanted. I mean, you know, back in history and all that, these military personnel that conduct coups, overtake governments and all that, their lives are usually at risk. Looking at, I mean, we've done a lot of stories about this man. We see that the world superpowers and all that have their eyes on him. Don't you think that he's opening up the doors to other people to put his life at risk? Anyone could be sent.
Yes, I understand where you're coming from, but looking at the current state of Burkina Faso's government, it is a military rule. Okay. And it will take a planned action, okay, to put President Traoré's life in danger. Because most of these visa, you see, the visa is not that you just get up and you enter the country. Okay. You will still have to apply. If we read what BBC posted, you will still have to apply, and then it will be reviewed. Your visa will be reviewed. Okay. You see, you still have the tendency to be granted or not granted a visa. Okay. Do you understand?
Whether you pay or not.
Yeah, whether you pay or not. They can choose not to grant you the visa, whether you are yes, two Africans. So you can still be denied visa. So it's not that anybody can just apply and it will be given to you without any proof of, I mean, your what the particular thing you are going to do in the country, because in the application you state what you are going to do there. So per their checks and their review, if it is not matching anything, they are not really going to give to you. But you know, this world, as we all know, has become a global village. Things can be planned in and out. I mean, whichever way you want to do it. So yes, looking forward into this, we are all expecting it will be some kind of a boost to the Burkina economy. But as to whether someone can, I mean, through this free visa, do anything to harm President Traoré, I kind of doubt it. But just as I said, this is the kind of world we find ourselves in. Anything can happen. Yeah.
So that is all about it from Burkina Faso. Captain Ibrahim Traoré scrapping visa fees for African travelers. We'll give you more updates on a lot of issues. See you next time.